Nobody's made the announcement yet.
Snuck up on us.
The announcement board.
He always makes an announcement.
Who's the first one to give? I know Mike is.
What I do?
This is the mic to use. Mike, this is the mic.
I've got 7
When have you do your
o'clock. It
boards?
snuck up on us.
Harvest Church.
Oh, it did. Oh, okay.
Whoever's doing
We
Harvest Church.
are going to call this regularly scheduled meeting of February the 5th, 2024 to order. And if I could, have a roll call.
Mullins.
Please.
Here.
Wagers.
Here.
Wagnon.
Here.
Hanlon.
Here.
Noggle.
Here, and if I could, have you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. All right, we have the opportunity for the public to be heard. Run, Beth, run. Oh, all that work for nothing. So now we're going to get into some really good stuff. We'll start with the Spirit Award. Miss Hanlon's going to,
I will take my Bob Barker
the Spirit.
microphone. That's
The
okay.
Bob
I got my Bob Barker microphone. We're good. We got it. Bob Barker. If Chuck Barano could join me up here, please. We are presenting him with our Special Spirit Award today. And he is representing for Harvest Church. Here you go, sir. And Steve Perdue nominated him. Come on and join us up here as well. Again, I told you, if I have to stand up here, you have to stand up here. Chuck is representing Harvest Church, and Steve had some awesome words to say about him and their church as well. Chuck and Harvest Church have been faithful partners with Sand Springs Schools Page Academy. They have provided lunch for our faculty on the first Friday of every month and have served as a venue for our Christmas party. Chuck and Harvest Church provided breakfast and lunch for our faculty during Teacher Appreciation Week. Thank you very much. And have brought gifts for Keenan for Admin Assistant Day, which is very awesome. They provide hoodies for each of our students and teachers at Christmas and always help out when asked for any specific needs. They also provided Christmas gifts specifically chosen for each of our faculty members. They are a true friend to Page Academy and Sand Springs Schools.
Awesome.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Would you like to add anything?
That says it.
Are you sure?
That says it.
All right, well, thank you so much.
Give the mic to him.
Oh,
Take your mic.
You're in the middle, sir.
1, 2, 3. 1 more. Thank you.
All right, and I think Mr. Mullins is going to present the Coin of Excellence Awards.
I enjoy this because we get superstars from the community. We get superstars from our district, and there's 2 superstars sitting out in the audience that have helped us out tremendously. So Jeannie and Dick Watts, please come and join me. Please, Jeannie Kavach and Dick Watts. And I'm going to ask Miss Durkee to come up as well because I can tell the story, but Sherry can tell the story a lot better than this. What we're doing is Coin of Excellence, and we don't just give these Coin of Excellence to anybody. You earn these Coin of Excellence. You earn it by being superstars, and what it says in it, it says, think right, challenge minds, inspire hearts. And through the work that the 2 of you have done, on numerous projects, one of which we're setting in today, is the direct result of the dedication of how you guys are thinking right, of how you're challenging minds, and how you're inspiring hearts in the future. So I'm going to give you both one of these. And I don't want to read what you wrote, Sherry. It's wonderful. But I would rather Sherry just tell the story, because what the two of these have done together as a team, and she'll read it. What the two of these have done together, team, is not just here, but it's all over the district. And it's opportunities that I'm not sure that we could have the facilities that we've got today with the resources that we've got without the dedication and diligence of these two. Because the resourcefulness that they have done for us, they see challenges as opportunities, and they go in there and fix them. They see things. I was telling Miss Durkee as we were cutting the ribbon for this building that we're in today. Said, I remember just a few years ago, we walked through this building and says, we need a new ninth grade center, because this building that we're setting in is not capable of allowing us to educate kids in here, and this building is no good. And we took tours of it, and it's like, oh my goodness. Long story short, we built a new ninth grade center, which is wonderful. But then Miss Durkee and these two fine people here says, there's an opportunity here to take this pig and put some lipstick on it. And we have put some lipstick on this pig, which makes it wonderful. And look what we're setting in, and we're going to get to enjoy this for a long time. So please, Miss Durkee, tell more of the story.
I could totally read this, but we're going to make a copy and give it to each of them, because I don't think I can read it without having some tears, to be honest. Well, I will let you do that, but it's endearing to find partnerships, because neither one of these folks are an employee. So, but what they've done is they've endeared themselves to our district because they're icons. They're just part of the fixtures around here. It's like seeing Carrie Slahuber or Sean Beard in the hallway, because they're one of us. And when you have those kinds of partnerships with people that believe in you, even all your haywire ideas about how you think things should go, and they make it come to life, which is what they do best, it's empowering. And so I'm not going to I will let you do it, because I feel like I might cry if I read it. They've just been great partners. And man, I want to keep them around for a while. I know that they're wanting to kind of retire and do fun things and other things besides just build stuff. But truly, they'll be a phone call away. I have their cell phone numbers. I know Jeannie's sticking around for another couple of years. We're getting ready to have a meeting with Mr. Watts soon. And it's just been amazing. It's a good team. So I don't know if you want to talk, Dick. They're the two most modest people you will ever meet. And so Dick's hating life that he's even standing up here in front of people. And you're on TV too. Like, now you're a movie star is what you are. But he hates it. And that's just the beauty of what they do. Jeannie's the same way. Please don't put my name on any plaque. I don't want any credit. But the truth is, people that have stuck around with us and been true partners deserve all of that and more. So we'll make a copy. Y'all can fight over it if you would like. But thank you so much. I appreciate all of you guys, or both of you guys.
I'll just say one more thing, because what they do is I do for a living as well. And it's a partnership when you have an owner, an architect, and a contractor together. And those three groups have to work together. We always say it's like a three-legged stool. And if that three-legged stool, one leg falls down, the whole thing crumbles. That three-legged stool has to work together to make it a successful project. This three-legged stool right here has done very well for Sand Springs. So thank you all for what you've done. And we'll get you a copy of Sherry.
Yeah, we're going to run
Very
one, and we
nice
can have
work,
Beth
stuff
go
like
get one
that.
of those. So
Cool. Thank you. You're too good.
it's good. You're welcome. We're going to get a photo. Okay, Carrie, look at her.
We'll allow you guys to say something too if you want
Yeah,
to.
please, Jeannie, I know you like to talk.
Oh.
Well, I started with this district in 2003, probably 2002, because the sixth grade center was going up, and I wasn't sure it was in the right place. So Mr. Snow allowed us to come forward with another architect. At the time, I was working for Tulsa Public Schools, and we did a 20-year plan on how to make improvements in the district. Patty, I think you were involved in it. Judy Treat was involved in it. And
Still got the book.
and we still have the book. We did a probably a 2-inch book. It was a picture graph. You can't lie with pictures, showing them how to waterproof the building from the outside in. We had rooms that this probably has a 35 foot candle lighting in here. Some of our classrooms had 12. I mean, they were so dingy and so yellowed, you couldn't. It's a wonder they could teach. We've made a lot of headway in this district, and I just am honored to be part of that. I've worked with tremendous teachers, tremendous principals over the years, superintendents. Sherry is the best superintendent I've ever worked with. She's as visionary as Snow was, but she's numbers driven. She knows what is going on in this district, and I don't know if many of you know, but this building was done with the extra money from our bond issue. So we've always been able to save money and do extra things. So it makes me look good, but I love my job, and I will be 71 this year, but I continue working because I love what I do, and I love the people I work with.
Jeannie's feisty. That's what you need to know. We say we get kvetched all the time because she's feisty, and you're just quiet. And he won't take the mic. So you guys give him a hand. They deserve all of it.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, Ms. Wagner and Mr. Mullins and I will take full responsibility of hiring Sherry as a superintendent. And I don't want to go through that process again, so. Before we get on to the student empowerment and staff empowerment, which goes right into what I want to talk about, is during the ribbon cutting, I was forced to say some comments, and I want to expand on that a little bit because I wanted to say it then, but it just lost my train of thought, is that Miss Arnold and her staff does such a great job of hiring teachers that fit in with what the vision of Sand Springs is. And I think that's a direct correlation to the lack of noise that other districts are getting that we don't have to deal with. And when you don't have to deal with all that outside noise and all that other stuff that's going on, you really get to focus on the education of those students. And that's really what we're here for. We're here for the education and for the kids. And I think we do a great job here in this district of putting education first and putting kids first. And that's, everything else is behind. And I think that is one reason why we turn out the graduates that we turn out here in Sand Springs. And I just want to say thank you to all the staff and teachers and administrative people that makes us 5 people here, our job a lot easier to help. And I really do appreciate that. And I'm glad, and I can't wait to be here for another 5 years and see where we go from there. So thank you very much. Now let's go on to student empowerment.
So first of all, I'd say, Mr. Noggle, our job is to make your life easier. Let's just start with that. So we're committed to do the best thing we can for kids, and that's really what we're about. I'm looking at our audience with some of our staff members, especially, my folks that reside with me in this building, but then our teachers and such, and that's the goal. I'm going to start out with the link for this professional development schedule for February 19th. That would be on President's Day. Sean Beard is the mastermind of all of those things. He plans it out, schedules. I think I've mentioned Doc Brown, the keynote speaker that was at OSSBA will be there with us that day, providing some motivation for our people and reminding us to keep those with the most needs at the center of what we do. And so I can't wait for that. Thank you, Sean, for putting that all together. The second piece, I'm always proud when we have a member that serves on any kind of statewide committee. Jay Rodert serving on the state textbook committee. We mentioned it last time. This is math adoption year. Struggling just a tad with very many choices. We'll get through it, but it's a little bit tricky when you talk about the noise, Mr. Noggle. We swim through that all the time, and regardless, we have to block that noise out and just do the right thing. So Jay, thank you for serving in that way as well. And then, of course, the big news tonight is the first read of the academic calendar for 24-25. It feels so weird to say that. You all were exposed to that, I think, a month ago. It is on a link for first read tonight. The goal is to go ahead and approve that in March. So I would like to kind of say, are there any questions about the school calendar before we go on? Okay. So moving on.
One question,
You bet.
on, part B there about the professional development,
Yes.
time is Doc Brown supposed to be there?
Oh, Sean,
think
help me
it's
out
like-
here. 8:30?
8:45.
They have limited how much time I can talk, so I get the mic first. And, and they have said there's only a certain amount of time that you can keep the microphone, so. 9 minutes. They'll have a timer for me. No, they can't at all, so.
All right, thank you. No, let's move on.
Okay, number 7 is really about our financial strategies, facilities, continuous improvement. I had the luxury of attaching the Vernon Florence newsletter. That's always a really huge thing for me and just an enlightenment of how things are going from a state level. We do a good job, I think, to establish lots of stability. We had a small bump in state aid this year, which is great, not because our enrollment was up. In fact, it was down just a tad, not much, but our economically disadvantaged was up, and so was our special education count. So that was a hooray for us, because when you get a little bit of a bump in state aid, it's a little bit of assurance that we can continue to provide the services we provide. I attached the USSA legislative goals for this season. The legislature started back up this week. So, we keep a watch of that very carefully. I know, Mr. Mullins, you serve on the OSSBA board as well. But we all have our eye on the ball, because our goal is to make sure that what we do is in alignment with what the kids need. And sometimes we have to give the legislature a little bit of push and bump to make sure that happens. So we'll be advocating like we always do. The goals are much like the COSA and OSSBA goals. We know that we need funding, and we need to continue to improve teacher salaries, and so that's going to be a big thing that we'll vouch for. We're also dealing with the decision last year for tax credit for private school students, and so keeping an eye on that just to make sure that doesn't impact the state aid that goes to our kids in public schools. So again, there's a few things that we need to make sure we're aware of. Also, and I think that really does kind of capture the finance and facilities update. Of course, we did the ribbon cutting today. You all were present for that. And of course, the bond election is next Tuesday. We have been on Bond Roadshow making sure that our community and our patrons really know what's going on. So hopefully, people get out and vote next week. moving on to item number 8, if you're ready.
Could we let anybody that wants to go ahead and go?
Oh,
go?
sure, yeah.
We're in the nuts and bolts of our meeting.
So this is the meeting. So if there are folks that would want to escape, by all means, you are more than, well, or you can stay and hear all of the business, which is super, super interesting. And out goes Mr. Watts.
I failed in my duties today. I
So-
take full responsibility.
So in terms of communication and getting the word out to the community, really the bond issue has been the biggest thing in our world, making sure we're communicating that out. We had dialogue at 5:30. I think the ribbon cutting superseded that, and so didn't have much attendance, but we're going to be at the Chamber Forum on Wednesday. I'm at Garfield tomorrow afternoon, and then we have our last community forum at Clyde Boyd on Thursday, so hopefully we get some newcomers that want to learn more about what's on the ballot next week. And then one thing I want to mention is Agape Church. You're going to see an item. They've asked to rent that Clyde Boyd facility contractually till June 30th. They'll probably extend that into the next year, but basically they're running out of room. So it'll be similar to what we did with Church That Matters a few years ago for Agape. So any questions about
Yeah, I have
community?
a question for that.
Absolutely.
Of course, I got to admit, I didn't read the rental agreement, but it says that they're going to want the auditorium and the gyms.
Correct.
Are we allowing passage?
No.
Okay, so they're
Yeah.
going to have to go outside in
Yeah.
order to use those? Okay, that's
Yes,
fine.
we did a tour, and they're very well aware of that, and so they'll have fobs to get in both areas on the outside, which is a little cumbersome, I get, when it's cold or whatever, raining.
Right.
But we also have classrooms with teachers' belongings.
Right, sure, yeah.
Yeah, so no,
Okay.
they won't be allowed
Thank
to
you.
go through. You're welcome. So that concludes community and communication, if you're ready to move on to item
Health
number
and-
9.
Health and safety, please.
So we just did a tour with some of our folks from the ribbon cutting. The big show off today was the Wellness Center. I had a question about how we purchased the equipment. Not all of it's in, it's not quite ready for opening, but Christy Newby, as you know, wrote the TSET grant to the tune of $60,000, and we were able to equip the Wellness Center, so it's downstairs in this building. When we're ready to open, we have a waiver for our folks to sign. It will be for employees only, and they'll be able to fob in from the outside and work out. I haven't figured out quite the hours yet. We're thinking maybe 5 in the morning to 10 at night, but just an opportunity for people to do what they need maybe to get in shape a little bit, and provide a service that would eliminate them having to pay for that outside of the school. So another attempt, I think, for employee retention and getting some good feedback. Jay Rodert, I have to admit, wanted to take a picture and put it in his group me. I said, they're going to post it out. You can take a picture, but show them on a slideshow. I'm laughing a little bit, but I think people are pretty excited about having a workout spot. And we've got some pretty nice equipment that is being installed almost as we speak. I think Mr. Watts was there with his team Friday installing the TRX. So really, really fun space for our people. So
So I'm just going to ask, do they, in liability, injury liability?
right, there's lots of schools that have wellness facilities, and many of employees in other districts actually work out at their athletic facilities. So this is specifically for employees only. Of course, it'll be covered, but that was the reason why we really are covering employees only. People under 18, can't be 18 or under to be in the facility to work out, nor children. That sounds a little bit restrictive, but again, you're talking about employees on campus, on school site, with insurance that covers our people. So,
Right.
yeah.
Do we have anybody on staff or anything that would be willing to or is going to explain how to use?
So we've got posters that we haven't yet put up. We're planning on paying a contract stipend for Bridget Beard to teach some Zumba. I just said that out loud. Probably need to meet with Bridget pretty soon. She knows that. I'm joking. And then having a contract with Lita, who does yoga. And so those two people are fully certified that would be able to help. In terms of a personal trainer, I haven't really gotten that far yet. I'm sure that we have some folks on staff, like Kevin Abey, for instance, does strength and conditioning, that if we wanted to bring someone in, I think even Jay Roder might be certified in some sort of, are you certified? I'm asking, his son is certifiable. Huh. Anyway, to get someone in that might have some expertise, that's a great idea. I really
Well, I
hadn't
mean,
thought.
it's one thing to have the equipment.
Right.
It's
How do
another
you
thing
use
to
them?
know how to use it and use it properly and
For
when
sure.
to use it.
Right.
You know, so
Absolutely. Yeah,
If we
that's a
had
great idea.
somebody that could be available for, I don't know, for a little time or whatever.
Sure. That's a really good idea.
It-
Kind of a
And it would lend itself to safety as well.
Right, true. Most of the machines are pretty standard. TRX is a little bit different. That's kind of a new element, probably. Treadmills, ellipticals, rowing machines, those are pretty standard, I think, in gyms, and then, of course, free weights that are installed as well. Cassidy's not here, but and Amanda Wine, her husband works for us, as you know. He and Christy did a lot of the work just putting the stuff together. So a lot of it's stuff that you would see at a hotel gym and that kind of thing. But that's a great idea. We need to incorporate some sort of training for
Please
sure.
put that on record that I had a great idea.
You had a great idea. So if we're ready to move on for the consent agenda,
Let's do that, please.
you bet. So a couple things to point out for the consent agenda. Let me get there. Item number 20, letter A, this isn't new, just to bring to your attention. The SSEF grants have been awarded, so now's the time when they start purchasing, probably are starting to intimately get those installed in some of the classrooms, but that's happening. I think it's a good thing to be able to look at to see what all teachers are asking for and what the foundation funds. Of course, item number 23 is the first read of the instructional calendar for 24-25. As I said before, 28 is that approval or review and approval potentially of the agreement for Agape, facility rental for Clyde Boyd Middle School. And unless you have a question on any of the other pieces, those are the things that I would highlight.
Anybody have any questions? None? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote. Well, actually, I'll call for a motion to accept the consent agenda.
I make a motion that we approve the consent agenda as is.
Do I have a second? I'll second. All right. Call for a vote, please.
Wagers,
Aye.
Wagner. Hanlon.
Aye.
Noggle.
Aye. Let's move on to the, action items. Number 30. Let's go ahead and combine 30 and 32, or if we can,
For an executive
for
session.
executive session
With the number
for
34 as well.
employment.
Yes, so.
Can we do that?
We can.
Yeah, you can do those two.
So 30, 32, and 34 to cover all employment and my evaluation.
Yeah, I was just gonna go to the employment, and then we're gonna talk about the executive the valuation, but that's fine. We can move all three of them together. Do I hear a motion that we,
I'll make a motion that we combine 30, 32, and 34 for proposed executive session for employment recommendation and superintendent evaluation.
do I have a second?
I'll second.
I'll call for a vote, please.
Mullins. Wagers,
Aye.
Wagner. Hanlon.
Aye.
Noggle.
All right. We are now in open session. The time is 8:12 PM. While in executive session, the board discussed the following: personnel, student evaluation, and employment. No other matters were discussed, no votes were taken. We will move on to item 31. I'll entertain a motion to approve temporary teacher employment.
I'll make that motion.
Call for a vote, please.
Mullins,
Aye.
Wagers,
Aye.
Wagner,
Aye.
Hanlon,
Aye.
Noggle.
Aye. I will entertain a motion that we approve item 33 as stated.
I will make the motion to approve item 33.
I'll second.
Call for a vote, please.
Tracy.
Tracy.
Mullins,
Aye.
Wagers,
Aye.
Wagner,
Aye.
Hanlon,
Aye.
Noggle.
Aye. Item 35, please, Ms. Durkee.
Defer to Ms. Newby. She has revised the first original budget. Of course, you know, we'd have mid-year adjustments, and so there are numbers that change. And so Christie, if you don't mind going over the budget.
Okay, I'll be very brief for our board, but basically, when you're looking at general fund revenue, I adjusted a few areas upward, approximately $332,000 based on current year revenue collections, and one of the things you're going to find is pretty much a common theme throughout any of my adjustments is the fact that we are making more interest on our investments. We're aggressively pursuing those, and this month alone, we will have one CD that we're going to renew that will be very beneficial to the district.
5% is pretty good, huh?
Yes, I'm looking at, right now, I'm trying to get 5.1, and it's a little over 2.2 million of a CD for us. So that will help a lot. Foundation aid and FBA were both adjusted up, as Ms. Superintendent Durkee said earlier, $693,000 for foundation aid and $203,000 for FBA. It's basically just reflecting our employment, because those are just reimbursements for what we pay. Few program revenues were adjusted upward or downward based on current allocation notices, nothing of any significance, just normal up and down movements. And overall, our revenue for our second revised budget is estimated to be 1.36 million larger than our first revised. Any questions on revenues?
Always good.
Very good.
We like going up.
Yep, definitely.
On general fund expenditures, same thing. I adjusted to reflect current expenditures and updated allocations within different projects. And just as like we had on first revised budget, our fund balance is higher than what we can carry over. And so last time it was 500. We have an additional 560,000 that's been pushed into additional instructional expense categories to reflect that, to spend down to where we need to be. Any questions?
I did not find it, but I didn't look for it, the Red Bud Fund.
Red Bed is in Fund 21.
Okay, so it's in there as well this year.
It is, yes. I'm going to, yes, and building fund,
I'm sorry,
no, that's great. That's great.
on the bottom, I see, sorry.
Fund 12, same thing, just a few program revenue changes were adjusted upward due to allocation notices, but basically just holding steady on there. Building fund, interest revenue, I adjusted up 30,000 and the red bed allocation. I increased it by 400,000 based upon the mid-year adjustment allocation notices. We made a $1 million estimate, and we're expecting hopefully to get 1.4. So that's more good news.
A function of the legislature decided to fund it, which was nice. So they had an actual allocation that was for Red Bud, not just dependent on marijuana tax revenue, which was good.
Any questions on building fund? Child nutrition, again, just normal adjusting upward based on allocation notices. We did have an emergency operations cost reimbursement that was received and included, so that's just, you'll see that inserted there where there wasn't anything before. And then expenses were adjusted upward, 473,000, based upon the feedback from the child nutrition director about current and future anticipated expenses that we have. Sinking fund, again, our revenue from interest is going up, so I adjusted that. And on insurance fund, the revenue was adjusted up 500,000 more, because at the time, whenever I did first revise, we didn't know exactly how much we were going to incur as far as expenses that we were going to get reimbursed from OSAG. And so it ended up being about 500,000 more, and then I adjusted the expenses accordingly to reflect that reimbursement after it's been spent. And that's it.
Our
Any
total on that's gonna be like $1.5 million for the total cost of that insurance claim?
It's, I think the total amount?
I think the total amount of receipts from OSIG was about 1.6 million. I think from looking at the budget last night, yeah. But, of course, the biggest bulk went into the, oh my gosh, the fine arts building at the high school, and then, the athletics, 200 and,
Ball field?
yeah, over
Lighting.
$200,000, so it was pricey. So, but they're paying,
Bad, it's gonna cause insurance to go up again next year. won't it?
probably.
Hmm.
Probably.
All right. Do I hear a motion that we,
I'll make a motion to approve district's second revised budget.
I'll second.
call for a vote, please?
Mullins?
Aye.
Wagers?
Aye.
Wagner?
Aye.
Hanlon?
Aye.
Noggle?
Aye. Item 36, please.
Right, is the proposal of the acceptance of a quote for upgrading our Wi-Fi service at several of our sites. Cindy Stinson has done a really great job. E-rate's tricky, just by nature of so many things to file and so many deadlines to meet. We have a E-rate consultant, Kellogg and Sovereign, that helps us through those filings. And because of the level of poverty that we have in our schools, some of those services we get 80% funded, which is great. So super important to make sure we file those on time.
All right.
All right, do I hear a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion, we approve item number 36 as written.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Call for a vote, please?
Mullins?
Aye.
Wagers?
Aye.
Wagner?
Aye.
Hanlon?
Aye.
Noggle?
Aye. Any matter not known?
There is not,
Any announcements?
no, sir.
I move
Well-
we adjourn.
Bond issue,
Too late.
next
February
next
13th.
week, February 13th.
Nobody in this room
I will
knows that.
second.
Call for a vote, please?
I didn't hear the motion and second, I'm sorry.
I motioned that we adjourn.
And I seconded.
Okay. Mullins?
Aye.
Wagers?
Aye.
Wagner?
Aye.
Hanlon?
Aye.
Noggle?
Aye, thank you.
Very nice.